Similarly to Ashley Miller, like she said, once I post this video, actually past tomorrow in the comments, I don't I don't care about this season no more. I don't care. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not arguing back and forth with nobody in the comments because I said what I said, like I always say. I am so happy. I am so happy that this season is over. This has been, first of all, I don't understand how people say this has been the best season. No, it has not. No, it has not. If you take away the reunion, this was probably the most trash season of Potomac ever. We literally took a 5-second hair pulling situation and dragged it out for months. All tied to a rumor that's 2 years old. Girl, I don't care no more. Before I go any further, because I don't want to forget this, I want to say to y'all, like I said in the very first video, that binder was full of bullshit. I said it. I said to y'all, I said when this reunion first started, if Monique comes to this fucking reunion with that binder and only has some shit to say about Giselle, I'm going to have an issue, and I have issue with it. So you brought that binder was for what? Because all you did was use it to give us information about Giselle that we already knew. So I don't understand. So that, all of y'all fell for that dumbass shit when it comes to that binder. I didn't, because I knew. I'm like, bruh, it's props. It's props at the end of the day. She's not going to really do anything with it. And as y'all seen, this entire reunion, that binder was used one time to tell us some tea about Giselle that we already fucking knew. So guess what? This whole big ass reunion, everybody was hyped off of the reunion simply because the binder, because outside of the binder, everybody did not care. So we got that one itty bitty moment in the first part about some shit that we already knew. Full of shit. That whole thing with the binder, I was waiting to the very end to not judge too harshly, to wait to see when it was pointless. That was brought. You know how at the end Chris was like, oh, I'll play chestnut checkers. That was brought to scare the other girls. That really didn't have shit in it. It didn't have anything in it. Because if it did, you would have brought it out, and you didn't. Whatever. So I'm not gonna go through everything. I'm gonna go through what I have here on my notes, okay? Because I'm so over this whole thing, this episode. Everybody on Twitter pissing me off, like y'all always do, whatever. So we get to Candace. Like I said, we leave off where we left off before. Candace goes in the bed, crying. And you know what? Chris is a good white husband, because everything he said to her was facts. He said, hun, I understand that this is upsetting you, but are you gonna let this like really control the rest of your life? And I think that's where a lot of people is coming from with Candace, like outside. I'm not giving her the, oh girl, shut the fuck up, stop crying, nobody cares, blah, blah. I'm not saying that, but I agree with Chris, like, how long are you gonna allow this to like fuck with you like this much mentally? Like, you gotta let it the fuck up. So she goes back up to the front or whatever, and they finish having a conversation. I'm so tired of talking about this. I could like bang my head against the wall. I'm so tired of talking about it. One of the things that came up is, like I said, Candace pretty much said that that her problem with Monique pretty much was that how Monique and her people pretty much leaked the story saying that Candace threw the glass of wine on her, and then that's when she attacked her. Now Monique, which one is it? Because I believe that somebody in Monique's camp leaked that, because it's the only thing that makes sense, because it's making you look good, you know what I'm saying? And we all know, if you're on YouTube or anything like that, y'all all know that Monique has a tendency to go and run to the blogs, and no shade, but kind of run her mouth a little bit to the blogs and stuff. So Monique tried to say, that wasn't me, I only told people in my family and a close friend to me. It was nobody. Now she said it was nobody in my camp or whatever that I know of that leaked it, but I do know who leaked it. Monique, you could just be honest. You probably yourself didn't write anybody, but somebody that was close to you leaked that, because you are the only person on this cast that keeps saying, that keeps trying to skew the situation as if she hit you with the glass first. You and Karen are the only two people, which we'll get to Karen. Karen kind of said it, but she didn't. Y'all are the only two people with that narrative. So of course, we would think that it comes from your camp. And it does, because this is not the first or second or third time that your people, Monique, has reached out to the blogs and, you know, spun a story. But it is what it is, sitting that shit. I also have in here that I love how Andy brought up the question from the viewer saying, like, let's be real, the only reason why Monique and Ashley are friends is because they have dirt on each other. And they can both sit up there and say, no, that's not true because Monique had dirt on me and she didn't tell even when we wasn't friends. Let's be real, y'all. I think almost every YouTuber can agree, has said this on their channel at one point in time. Monique and Ashley are not really friends. They are conditional friends. They are conditional friends, meaning I can do this for you, you can do this for me. I've done this for you, you've done this for me, so we're gonna be friends. That's what people mean when they say, oh, y'all are hiding each other's secrets. That's what we're talking about. If you want to be specific, we're specifically talking about the fact that we all believe, allegedly, and I have to keep allegedly, we all believe allegedly that Chris and Monique hid that footage of Michael allegedly grabbing a producer's ass, and that's why you jumped up to help them. She even said that when they was going through litigation, oh, you felt their pain. No, because they spoke up for you, so you spoke up for them. Y'all friendship is conditional. I wish we would stop acting like that. Y'all would stop acting like that's the case. Y'all not really friends. Cause y'all not really friends like that. So then finally, we have Monique apologize, okay? Monique, now I'm not going to say Monique never apologized before, because she did before with the girls and stuff like that, but she actually sat in her shit, and she did apologize, and she said, this is why I don't understand why she keeps saying it, like, before all of this about, oh, well, she did this, oh, well, she did that. It's not that. I think that's people who have a problem with Monique. That's our thing. Just say you were wrong, and that's it. Stop saying, oh, well, it was because she did this, oh, it was because you did it, you were wrong. So I appreciate that she said, well, she said the reason that she got triggered because, you know, Candace went like that and it triggered her or whatever from her childhood or whatever. But she did say that nothing warranted her putting her hands on her that day. And I think that's all everybody, like, who look at it from my point of view was trying to say. What Monique said out of her own mouth, regardless of any of that, regardless of all of that, you should have not put your hands on her. And even Karen ended up saying that. So I don't understand all of these people who, oh, well, if somebody got in your face, oh, if somebody got in your face. Monique said it out her own mouth that Candace did not deserve that, and that it was unwarranted, and that she needs to control herself. That's the only, I can't speak for everybody. That's where I was coming from. That's the only place that I was coming from. You don't let nobody else take you outside of your element that much. Like, period, okay? But then, like, that's the thing. It's like I teeter-totter with Monique, because it's like, I forgot who said this, but I think it was Erica De Niro who said, you can't say that you don't care about something, but then lie about it at the same time. And I think that's my problem. Once Erica De Niro broke it down, that is my problem with her, because, okay, on one hand, right, you sat there and you apologized. You have a good apology. I appreciated the apology, even though to me, I appreciate it. But then at the same time, when they bring up the whole song about the drag queens, then you try to mix it and say, oh, well, you said, oh, well, it wasn't about you. Oh, but it was about you. But it wasn't about you. But the hook in the verse was kind of sort of about you, but it really wasn't. It was. That's my problem right there. When she is caught in certain shit, she won't just sit in it. Why don't you just sit? You just apologize, right? Saying that the attack against her was unwarranted and everything, and Candace tried to say the reason she has a hard time accepting that apology is because everything that happened afterwards. But that's my thing. See, Monique, you could have just sat there and said, okay, let's just say that you did start the song before, right? What you could have sat in it and said, kind of like you said, look, originally when I started the song, when actually it did have everything to do with her, because you said that your therapist told you to write a letter, so this song wouldn't have even came if it wasn't for the situation. But fine, you could have simply said like this. At first, it was supposed to be something therapeutic, but you want to know what? The more I thought about it, the more upset I got about it. So yes, I did want to be petty, and yes, it was about you. It was about her, because you said out your mouth that the whole point of the song was because your therapist told you to write a letter to her. So you can't say that and then the next breath try to say it wasn't about her. That is my problem. You can't say you don't care, but then lie about something. It was about her, and that's okay. You want it to be messy, you want it to be petty. It's okay. Just sit in that and just say it. It bothers me so much that she tries to act like, this is what I don't get about Monique. You act like you so tough, rough, and buff, but then when somebody wants to call you out on doing whatever act it is, you want to play dumb like you didn't do it. The song was about her. You just could have said that. Who gives a fuck if it was about her? Who cares? And then they got on to Candace, and Candace said, because they asked her, like, does she take any responsibility? And she said she takes responsibility for her mouth. She said that she has a smart-ass mouth. She know that she can do the absolute most, that she did all of that, and she shouldn't have did it. And she said everything that I said, which is that she should have walked away. And she brought up a good point, like I have been saying, other people have been saying. Prior to that situation, there was at least 3 times that we seen on camera that Monique was picking with her. And Monique herself said that she was picking with Candace because she had an issue with her. Like Candace said, the only difference is that the only biggest difference between all those other times is that one time she decided not to walk away. And that's where her accountability lies. Now, she did go on to say, like I said, about all of the other stuff, but I do think that, in my opinion, I do think that Candace took a little bit of responsibility in the situation, because she said she has a smart mouth, she understands that, but what she said is facts. All of that being said, still did not warrant you putting your hands on her. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. The rest of y'all can feel however it is that y'all want to feel about it, but we'll get to what, like I said, when Karen gets to we'll get to it. So in my opinion, when it comes to the whole thing about them apologizing, I feel like Monique apologized the way that she should have, but eventually she ducked some responsibility. And the same thing with Candace. Candace, you apologized somewhat and you took a little bit of responsibility, but you also ducked. That's why I'm not on nobody's side. I'm not on nobody's side with this whole thing. Both of these hoes are wrong, and they both have a hard time. Both of them have a hard time taking full accountability on what it is that they did. Both of them do. Because you take accountability on one side, but it's, yeah, I did all of this and it wasn't warranted, and I have a smart mouth and I shouldn't have did this, but that's where y'all both lose me, with the buts. Then y'all ever hear anything before but is bullshit? Okay. So then we get on to Karen, okay? And how Karen kept freaking saying the whole damn, pretty much how she was teeter-tottering on Monique and Candace's side. Once this is all said and done, I honestly do believe that Karen was leaning more towards Monique, especially when they replay everything and you just keep hearing her say, oh, well, we don't know the whole truth. Remember, I snapped on the video because Karen kept saying, we don't know the whole truth, we don't know the whole truth. And I didn't understand her bringing up the whole thing with the police report, but Candace kind of broke it down later, and she did. The way Candace explained it is really how I took it initially, but I didn't want to like look at Karen that way. But here's the thing. Karen herself told the fight. Now, before she said what happened, Monique said, in all fairness, Karen did hold me to task. She didn't necessarily do it on camera, but she did hold me to task about the things that I did, and she never let me off the hook. Now, Karen told the fight the way the rest of us seen it, which is, this is what Karen said. Karen said, Monique flicked Candace's hair, okay? Which I told Monique that was wrong, because and she even said, so Monique is wrong because she initiated the situation. I don't understand how everybody else just does not see that when Karen out of her own mouth said it. Even Monique, eventually, you want to double back and say what? We'll get there, okay? So Karen said, like I've said, Monique flicked Candace's hair first, okay? First. That's where she was wrong, and even Karen said that's where she was wrong, and that's where she started the altercation, because you flicked her hair. After she flicked her hair, then she said Candace plucked her jacket, okay? And then that's when you see Monique grab Candace by the hair, and then that's when you see the glass go. Now, this is what's confusing, Karen. You said out your own mouth that Monique grabbed Candace's hair, and then it was the glass, but you seen it but it was simultaneously. No. Like I said on my last video, that's just how y'all seen it at the time, because everything was happening so fast. Yes, that's how y'all seen it. But as we have all kept saying, which this is what Candace was bringing up. Candace said to Karen, I don't understand. What I don't understand is, how could you sit on TV and insinuate pretty much that I was lying about the whole situation with the glass, when that I wasn't lying at all. When somebody, and I said this in my last video too, When somebody, like she said, is grabbing your hair and they have your head down and they're punching you or they're doing whatever is in your hand, you're going to do your best to defend them. And then Monique going to stand aside and be like, that's not exactly what happened. That's not exactly what happened. How, Monique? How is that not what happened when that's exactly what Karen said? This is my problem, Monique. You're getting broken down in semantics. The point of the matter is you kept trying to make a big deal about her hitting you with the glass, but when we all have said, and even she said in the statement, I did hit you with the glass from self-defense because you put your hands on me first, which that's what Karen said. This is what I think Monique is not understanding. Everybody keeps trying to say, or at least I'm trying to say, yes, Candace did hit you with that glass. She did, but that was after. And I don't know how many times I'm done saying it after this video. That was after you put your hands on her. Like Karen herself said, you flipped the girl's hair first. You initiated physical contact. So anything else that happened, I don't care about your mouth being scratched up. I don't care about any of that. You should have never put your hands on her. Like I said, you cannot put your hands on somebody and then turn around and get mad about how they reacted. So at the end of the day, Monique, you're mad because the inside of your lip or whatever mouth got cut up because of her hitting you with the glass. But let's think about this. If you would have never put your hands on her, she wouldn't have no reason to hit you with the glass. That's what we're all trying to say. Nobody is trying to deny the fact, or at least I'm not denying the fact that Candace hit you with the glass. But again, that was a reactionary thing. Like she said, that was a self-defense thing. So like Candace said, I don't understand what Karen was talking about something. Oh, I'm waiting for the whole story to come out. There was no whole story to come out. We seen it. Like Karen said, step by step, what happened, that's what happened. Period. There's nothing more to fucking talk about. I'm getting a headache. I'm getting a headache. I don't want to talk about something. I'm getting a headache. Then they get into the whole situation about Karen. Karen is shady. Like, all I want to say is that I love Karen. I do. I think that she's great on the show. But Karen moves very, very shady. I think that she plays both sides of the fence a lot of times. And I think that she has a hard time taking responsibility for anything that she does. That's just how I feel about it. Don't really feel like going on. And I also want to say that eventually Candace and Karen start going back and forth because Candace said to Karen, like, you know, I sent you a text message pretty much saying that I didn't appreciate that you were trying to put what Monique did on Giselle and Robin. And you took that information and you went to, I guess, the producers of, like, the Real Housewives or whatever she said and tried to get me fired. Now, why would you do that? Now, Karen said, well, you was in there threatening me, telling me to go to hell and all this other stuff. So yes, I did go to your bosses and I told because I wanted to get you help or whatever. And yeah, I was online saying it because I felt like Robin and Giselle was the ones who was really happy to see y'all fight and this, that, and the third. Now here's the thing. Was Candace wrong for going off on you via text message? Yeah, probably she was, but telling you, I will agree, telling you to burn in internal hell is not a threat. I can't physically make you burn in hell. It doesn't work like that. So that's that. But Karen, I think Karen was out of pocket for going to the producers because what does that have to do with anything? If me and you are supposed to be friends right outside of this show and I text you something, even if I am mad at you, if we're friends, why instead of coming to me, or if we're so close, instead of you going to my husband, to Chris or somebody like that, or to anybody close to me, if you were really concerned to be like, I'm concerned, why the fuck would you go to the producers of a show that I'm on? That makes no sense, Karen. That makes no sense. You was trying to get that girl kicked off that show, and I don't care what Karen has to say, it's bullshit. You was trying to get her kicked off the show. It is what it is, but I just wish you would stand in it, and that's what I mean about Karen is full of shit. You're full of shit. Oh, it said something about psychological help, and but if you're really friends with her, like she said, and you felt some type of way, why would you not either reach back out to her and say, this is not how we talk to each other, or this is that and the third, or reach out to her husband if you really felt it was something psychological going on. Could have reached out to her husband and been like, Chris, look, I don't know what's going on, but maybe y'all really need to sit down and talk to Candace. But to go to her bosses, that makes absolutely no sense, Karen. You're full of shit. And I want to say the whole thing about Robin and Giselle. Fuck Giselle. I'm going to talk about Robin for a second. When it comes to this whole situation about the baby, I honestly do feel as if Robin is this is my opinion. Looking back at everything, I feel like Robin is unfairly being being grouped in with Giselle with this in particular situation. Now, yes, we all know that Robin is Giselle's little do girl or whatever, and is always on her side and stuff. But they did not show one time on this show where Robin said something about Monique or Chris. Now, there is a scene that they showed Giselle talking to Robin and telling her about the whole situation, but not once did I see on this TV Robin say anything about Chris, Monique, or their child. So I do. Now, I don't know what was said at the behind the scenes at that damn party or that dinner table. That's something different. But as far as what we was shown on TV, I did not see Robin say a word about any of them. I just think that Robin is getting... I do think that if anybody, Robin is getting thrown under the bus simply because she's friends with Giselle, and a lot of times her and Giselle move together as a unit. But that just means you need to be careful with who you associate yourself with. But I can understand Robin feeling some type of way about that. Then the husbands come out, okay, and you know the whole little clip that was going on about Chris coming out and Andy asking him about like the Last Dance, the little Michael Jordan documentary. He's like, no, I want to talk about the lies that was spread on my wife. This is what I want to say before I go any further. I want everybody to be clear about this, because everybody's online. Oh yes, that's how you defend your wife. That's how you defend your wife. Let's be real, y'all. Can we be real? Chris, in our reality, was not really defending his wife. He was not defending his wife. He was defending himself. He was defending his image. He was defending his quote-unquote social standing. He was defending all of that. But it was not. It really has nothing to do with Monique, in my humble opinion. I don't think it has anything to do with trying to protect his wife. If anything, you're trying to protect the image of your wife. You're trying to protect how people would look at you and your marriage, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine too. But I think people look way more deeper to yes, that's how a man's supposed to defend his wife. No. Let's be real. Chris was more so defending himself, because let's be real. If it came out that she was cheating, even if that was his baby, if it came out that she was cheating on him with her trainer, that would make him look stupid. Especially if that baby wasn't his, that would make him look stupid. Not Monique. Monique would look trifling, but it would make him, as a man, look stupid. That's really what this gets down to. But it really has little to do with Monique. That man didn't want to look stupid on camera. He didn't want to look dumb on camera. And actually, now that I think about this, this is how, to me, it just proves it even more. Because the fact that y'all had heard about this, and then y'all still allowed Giselle to step foot in y'all crib after hearing some shit like that, or to still be like, Monique, it's okay for you to do this show with these raggedy ass bitches. It wasn't a problem, right? Until it was put out there. It probably wasn't really that big of a problem until it was put out there. Like I said, let's be clear. That man was not defending his wife. He was defending himself. He did not want to look stupid on TV. I just want to get that clear. It literally had nothing to do with Monique. Nothing. I guarantee you it had nothing to do with her. At all. Okay? It didn't. So... yeah, so like I said, so they talk about that whole situation, not very long, whatever, like, you know, we'll get there. The husbands come out or whatever. We talk to Eddie. Now, I heard Wendy is no longer going to be on this show next season. That's very disappointing to me. I feel like, I know a lot of people don't like Wendy, but again, I just find it very, 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 very weird that all of these hoes can sit on this show and talk about all of the money that they have, which almost all of them, it's not their money, it's their husband's money. They can brag about that, but she can't brag about her degrees. Okay, I just find that weird, but okay. Maybe she's not meant to be on the show because she does actually have, I don't know, her own money, and she doesn't, like, I don't know, live off of her husband and make all of her money off her husband. So I guess that does make sense for her not to be on here. But oh, and also it came out too that Monique is no longer, she quit. She's not going to be on the show next season. Thank God, because I'm tired of it. Like, let's bring in some new girls, because what I didn't want is next season for us to still be talking about this. So with her being off the show, bitch, I wouldn't have cared if it was her or if it was Candace, but both of them couldn't be on this show because then that would have been dragged out. So glad. Let's move on. Awesome. Okay. So, like I said, we talk about Eddie and how his family still doesn't, you know, I gotta hurry up, really see it for, you know, his marriage and stuff like that. Then we talk about Ray, and like I said before, what did I say before? Karen, I don't understand you complaining about you helping your husband pay his back fucking taxes when I'm pretty sure your entire marriage this man has taken care of you. And that's exactly why when they asked, Ray laughed like, bye, like, are you serious? This girl, she running up credit cards, you was getting monthly stipends, so how dare you? Like, I could definitely understand Ray feeling like, girl, what am I thanking you for? What am I thanking you for? Because the reason you even have all of the money that you have now to give to me is because of me. Like, let's be real. We see where Karen came from. So whatever money that Karen has now, it definitely comes off of the back of whatever it is that Ray was doing. Let's not play no fucking game. So I didn't understand Karen being all, oh, no, it's not money. That's your husband. He helped you. You help him. That's how marriage works. Next. I really have to hurry the hell up because I ain't got that much time left. Okay. So then Giselle doing the absolute fucking most, as she normally does. That's why I don't feel bad for Giselle. Like, Giselle deserves everything that she got this reunion and then some. And to me, she ain't get enough, okay? Had this big-ass bodyguard standing behind when Chris comes out or whatever. And she brought the bodyguard because on one of the little lives that Monique and Chris did, Chris said that he was going to smack the fuck out of pretty much all of them, whatever, because of them spreading rumors about the baby. Chris apologized about him saying that or whatever. Of course, Giselle's actually doing the absolute most. Now, I appreciate the way. Now, this one thing I will say, outside of, like I said, Chris, I still stand on what I said when I say that Chris was not protecting Monique. He was protecting his image. However, I mean, I'm so here for the way Chris handled the situation, because I feel like the way Chris was going at it is the way that Monique was going at it. Chris's his anger was pointed towards the right direction for the most part, outside of it really being Robin, because like I said, I didn't see that Robin did anything, but the majority of his focus was towards Giselle, and it should have been, period. It should have been all that other extra energy. It really wasn't for nobody else. He did ask Candace, he said, I just want to know, like, if that was your friend after you heard that, why wouldn't you come to her? And I feel like everybody made a good point. I get where Chris is coming from. Like, if that's your friend, why didn't you come to her? But I also understand Candace, because it's like, girl, I hear rumors about everybody, and I can understand being a friend. Somebody be like, oh, girl, that ain't him. I was like, bitch, that baby look just like him. And I could understand being like, that's not gonna get no legs, because first of all, like she said, there's rumors all the time, and number two, that baby do look just like Chris, so who the fuck would even believe some stupid shit like that? So I appreciated that little part. I also appreciate the relationship between the two Chris's, you know what I mean? They did get into it for a brief second or whatever, but I liked how when the reunion, when the husbands left, they said it on stage and separately that, you know, they don't know what'll happen between their wives. I think they both realized that Candace and Monique will figure it out. Like, the rest of y'all on Twitter is all going off, but I think both of those husbands realized that if you give it time, they're gonna figure it out. Because at the end of the day, like we all been saying, that whole fight, was misdirected energy. It should have not been pointed towards Candace. It should have been pointed towards Giselle. And I think that's the real reason why Monique's husband could probably say, I don't know if they could be friends, but possibly, because the issue wasn't ever really between them two. It really wasn't. She was the one who Monique wouldn't have even known about that conversation if Candace didn't tell Karen. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the problem was never really between Monique and Candace. It really wasn't. It was everything else. Monique just put her energy, she just directed it in the wrong way. That's really much all that happened. Let me hear that, because I ain't got that much time. We see the quick, I gotta hurry up, but like, we seen the little quick behind the scenes of, you know, Giselle pretty much said the reason why she had talked about what happened is because in the show's unaired footage, which when Giselle had came over to visit Monique, that Chris said, oh, this is your first time seeing the baby? She said, yeah. He was like, don't he look just like me? Don't he look just like me? And she was like, well, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? And then the next thing you see her talking to Robin and bringing that up. Now, Giselle should have never said anything. Let me get this right. Giselle should have never opened her mouth. She shouldn't have said nothing on the show, period. She shouldn't have said nothing. However, I do think that y'all low-key set yourself up for that. You should have never made that comment, Chris. Because see, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Giselle doesn't have fault, because she do, but I do feel like y'all kind of opened the door for it to be on this show. I'm not saying that y'all are the only reason, but Monique, you opened the door with the whole situation with bringing it up on the show about you having a problem with Charisse. And although we didn't see that, you know, that footage or whatever, Chris, you kind of opened up the door too, because me watching them, me as a regular person who don't pay attention to all this other shit, if I would have watched that scene, I wouldn't have understood the context of it. I wouldn't have understood it until Giselle explained it. So yeah, so that's that on that. Other than that, girl, nothing that important happened. I don't know what's going on between Karen and Giselle, but they don't like each other. I think Karen is full of shit, talking about some, oh, I was talking to Ray and I was going to really talk about the whole situation with Vaughn, but I'm not. Girl, you wasn't going to say anything, because I hate people who be like, oh, I got the tea, but I'm not going to spill it. Bitch, you ain't have nothing. You didn't have shit. Yeah, like I said, we talked about the Chris and Michael fight. Chris cleared, and I'm talking about Candace's Chris. Chris cleared on that whole conversation. Everything he said was facts. He said facts. He said facts. I love that him and Chris Samuels, they have a understanding relationship. Like I said, I like that after the reunion was over, they both was like, man, I love you. I love you. You love me. You know, they'll figure it out. Like I said, because the men understand, they ain't the ones that really got beef. Period. So I'm done talking about this. Y'all get in your comments. Get in my comments for me what y'all think about that.